Hello all, this is first lecture of unit number 5th, which is power converter, which belongs to basic electrical engineering course, which is offered in first year in both Bikaner Technical University and Rajasthan Technical University. These are the points which we have to study within this unit. We have to go through semiconductor devices, we have to deal with diode, then after bipolar junction transistor, silicon controlled rectifier, MOSFET, and lastly we have to go through IGBT. And after studying the semiconductor devices, we have to go through single phase rectifier with resistive load. Mainly we have to see a half wave rectifier, full wave rectifier. In full wave rectifier, we have to go through both center type full wave rectifier and bridge type full wave rectifier. And then we have to have basic idea related to the inverter. We have to see both half bridge and full bridge inverter. And lastly, we have to deal with DC to DC converter. We are going to discuss the step down and step up DC to DC converter. In this lecture, we'll go through semiconductor materials, and then after formation of PN junction, and then lastly we'll see some examples of semiconductor devices. So according to electrical properties, all materials can be categorized into three categories: conductor, semiconductor, and insulator. We know that materials can be categorized into varieties of category depending on different types of references. Like if we talk matter, if I will take one reference, then material could be liquid, solid, and gas. The fourth state nowadays is considered plasma. So liquid, gas, solid, and plasma, these are the four states. Similarly, if I'm taking electrical properties as reference, then material could be conductor, semiconductor, and insulator. Out of these three, semiconductor materials are used to design semiconductor devices. Now, what are the examples of semiconductor materials? It is silicon, germanium, gallium, arsenic, indium, etc. These materials belongs to semiconductor category. Actually, conductor allow very easy flow of current, and so it is known as conductor. Insulator doesn't allow flow of current, so it is known as insulator. But semiconductor material is having conductivity in between conductor and insulator. If it is pure semiconductor material at room temperature, it will behave as an insulator. But if it will increase the temperature of that material, then it will have some electrons which will allow flow of current. Okay, so what happened that in semiconductor material we are going to put some impurities, and so that its conductivity increases and it allows actual flow of current which we are designing or we are needing. So if you see conductor, so we have only one charge carrier, which is electron. In insulator we do not have any charge carrier, no charge carrier at all. That's why it is insulator. It is not allowing flow of current. In semiconductor material we have two type of charge carrier: electrons and holes. Now, why we have two type of charge carriers and what is the definition of holes, that we are going to see. Actually, in semiconductor material, the individual atoms of the material is bonded with covalent bond, and if by any process, one example I am taking like silicon, by any process one electron missed from a semiconductor material, then there is a vacancy, and that vacancy is known as hole. So if we define what is hole, so hole is lack of electron in covalent bond. Like all the bonds are having two electrons, but suppose in this case one electron is missing, then we have only one electron. Here is the vacancy, and this vacancy will be known as holes. So you have to remember, in case of semiconductor material, we have two charge carriers, electrons and holes. The mobility of electron is higher than holes because electrons are free, whereas holes are lack of electron, which has to move within the covalent bonds, and that's why mobility of holes are less than electrons. Now we'll see how p-n junction form. So here you can see when we are doing doping of semiconductor material, so two type of doping is possible. One is known as p-type semiconductor material, another is known as n-type semiconductor materials. If it is p-type semiconductor materials, it means doping has been done with pentavalent impurities, whereas n-type semiconductor material, then doping has been done with trivalent material. And with the p-type, in p-type material, the majority charge carriers are holes. You can see these are the holes. Okay. Whereas in case of n-type semiconductor material, majority charge carriers are electrons. And obviously, these electrons will be associated with immobile ions. Here, positive ions has been shown, and in this side, negative ions has been shown, and holes will be associated with negative sign. So, individually, if I will see p-type material or n-type material, both are neutral. But the moment a doping will, this doping will happen on a single vapor. In half of the area, we are doing doping of p-type nature, and half of the area we are doing doping of n-type nature. So automatic a junction will be created in between. Like see, when this switch is off, that time you can easily find out in between this conjunction is happening, and we have only immobile sign. So this immobile sign forms a junction which is known as p-n junction. This is the p-n junction. It would be more clear from next slide. Okay, so here we have positive immobile ions associated with electrons, and here holes are associated with negative immobile ion. So individually, if I will check, this portion is neutral. Here also this portion is electrically neutral. Okay, because all electrons are associated with positive immobile sign. So what happened that here there is a lack of electron, and at this place we have availability of electrons. Let me draw over here the same figure. So here we have holes, only two holes I am plotting, and here we have electrons. Why electrons? Because we have n-type doping in this area, so majority charge carriers are electron. So this side there is a lack of electron. Here we have availability of electrons. So this vacancy, this lack, it will be fulfilled by this electron, and so this holes will vanish, and obviously this electron will also vanish. Same thing will happen over here. The moment it will happen, in between we have immobile ion. Here at this place you can see we have immobiles negative ions this side and immobiles positive ion this side. And after some thickness, after this process will happen for some of the area, and then after, due to this positive ions, now electrons move, this holes movement is not possible. Similarly, due to this negative ion, electrons movement is not possible. So in between we have a junction which is known as p-n junction. Okay, this p-n junction is also known as depletion layer. Okay, this region is known as a space charge region. It is having a potential, since we have at one side we have positive charge and another side we have negative charge, so there is a potential associated with this junction. And if I will measure this potential, then it is around zero point 0.7. It is, if it is made by silicon material, and this potential is known as barrier potential. Okay, as I said, in case of p-type semiconductor material, majority charge carriers are hole and minority charge carriers are electrons, whereas in case of n-type semiconductor material, majority charge carriers are electrons and minority charge carriers are holes. That we have already understood. So we understood how this uh, p-n junction form. And we have to remember all semiconductor devices, whether it is diode, bipolar junction transistor, MOSFET, IGBT, silicon controlled rectifier, GPO, C, MCT, etc. Whatever triac, diac, whatever semiconductor material you will think, or the basic building block of all semiconductor material is p-n junction. So this p-n junction is basic building block of all semiconductor material design. These are the some of the example of semiconductor material. This is diode. This is bipolar junction transistor. You can see it is having three legs, whereas in case of diode we have only two terminals. This is power bipolar junction transistor. This is BJT and this is the power BJT. So it is able to carry high amount of current, and also it can withstand that high voltage, and that's why it is known as power BJT. Obviously, the structure of this device will be different than this conventional or signal BJT. This is IGBT, insulated gate bipolar junction transistor, and this is silicon controlled rectifier, SCR. So in all semiconductor devices, we can find a normal device, which is known as signal device, which can work at low voltage and low current, and then same device in power category. That means it can allow flow of around more than 1 ampere current, and it can withstand at very high voltage. Okay, it goes in kV voltage also. So we have number of semiconductor devices, and with the help of these semiconductor devices, all electronics and all electrical designs are possible, and we have a number of applications of it. Thank you. We'll stop here. In the next lecture, we'll go through diode. Thank you.